My name is Nick Rossi, and you're here with me at my studio in beautiful Vassalboro, Maine, and we're going to be talking today about 2x72 belt sanders. If you're considering blacksmithing, bladesmithing, or really any sort of metal fabrication as a hobby or career, a 2x72 machine is going to be one of the most important tools that you add to your shop. And I'm going to talk to you about how to set these up, how to make sure they're running right, and then we're going to make something. I know that you're going to be really excited when this thing comes in the mail and you take it out of the box and you set it up. But don't just think that you can cowboy it and attach it to your bench with some C-clamps and go at it. Do take the time to properly attach it to a bench top in a solid manner. Don't be that guy or girl. So before I put a belt on this machine, I'm going to set up my work rest and make sure that it is 90 degrees to my platen. And this velocity grinder comes with this fantastic articulating work rest system, which is super handy. And I just use a 1-2-3 block, and I just hold this up to my platen without a belt on, and I can see that this is a little bit off. So I'm going to just unscrew this one bolt and sight down it. That looks about perfect. So I'm going to tighten that, and that's 90 degrees. The fantastic thing about this is you can actually just unscrew this, swing this out of the way, adjust it for height, and it still maintains 90 degrees. And it's very important that when we put a belt on this machine and we readjust this, and all belts are different thicknesses, so you really have to watch this. We want as small of a gap as possible. This can be a real pinch point and it can be dangerous for you or for your parts. If a part gets sucked in between your belt and your work rest, or maybe your finger gets sucked between the belt and the work rest, it's not fun either way. Before we use our platen attachment, we want to make sure that our platen is properly set up. We don't want the platen advanced too far forward, and we don't want it advanced too far back. Too far forward means that you're going to get lots of friction, lots of heat buildup, and increased platen wear, and too far back means that you're not going to get a truly flat grind on your blade or part. The next thing we got to do before firing this bad boy up is make sure that we have proper belt tension. That's going to ensure that we have proper tracking. So the first thing I'm going to do is loosen our platen arm right here. And then I'm going to loop my belt over the drive wheel, over the idler wheel, and then around the platen. And per manufacturer's recommendations, this gas valve should be about halfway compressed. So about right here, I'm going to hold it there, I'm going to pull this out, and I'm going to tighten. And that will give us the ideal belt tension. So this is our tracking knob right here, and this allows us to move the belt from one side of the platen or wheel to the other. And if you turn this to the right, it moves the belt to the left, and if you turn it to the left, it moves the belt to the right. And it's very important that before we start up this machine, we give this belt a few spins to make sure that it's tracking right in the middle of the platen and the idler. And you can see here, it's not. So we'll give this a little bit of a turn, and we'll give this another spin, and we'll adjust this until it's tracking right in the middle. And this is important to do when you change belts before firing up the machine. Because if for whatever reason the tracking knob is wound all the way in or backed all the way out, the belt can crash either into the side of the machine or into the guards, both which are not super options. With belt sanders, it's always safe, never sorry. Always, always wear your safety glasses, be careful of long sleeves. Gloves are a big no-no with stationary rotating equipment. And you always want to protect your lungs with a good mask or a good dust collection system. In this particular velocity grinder has a 90-degree feature, which is very handy. If you're profiling something, you can actually see what you're doing. It should go without saying, but make sure that your belt is fully stopped before you flip this to 90 degrees. So one of the cool things about this particular grinder is that you can actually use it like its own bevel jig. You'll notice it has these gradations here, which represent degrees. And say, for instance, if I wanted a steep bevel, I would set this at about 12 degrees. Lock it, and then I had previously set my work rest for 90, so when I move this back over, the belt on here, I can lock that down, and I have here a blade mounted on a piece of angle iron just with a C-clamp, and that will give me a consistent 12-degree angle for a steep bevel pretty much automatically.